Kevin Haig.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I spoke in the debate on the first reading for this bill and mentioned some of the personal connections that I had to the work of the Blind Foundation through my father-in-law, Jim Newcomb, who is blind and extensively uses the services of the foundation, the talking book service. He achieves internet access through services provided by the foundation. His globe is one that he bought from the Blind Foundation shop. And my mother-in-law, his wife Joan Newcomb, is a very active fundraiser for the foundation. So I have a strong association with the foundation and indeed have noticed how it has grown and changed over the years. And it's that changing role of the foundation over time. It's seeing itself in a different way that is at the heart of this bill. I'm a member of the Health Select Committee and I want to, in the second reading, take the normal role of thanking members of the committee, the officials that assisted the committee with our work, and the foundation itself. The foundation's submission and supplementary material were very interesting indeed. Members have spoken in this debate about the importance of clarifying the legal status of the foundation through changing repealing a superfluous law that might otherwise be confusing. But it's the other purpose for this bill that I think is the more important and more interesting, because it reflects a journey that many organisations in civil society have been on. The Minister, Nikki Wagner, in her remarks, referred to the 19th century origins of this organisation. And Mr. Speaker, that was in a time where the prevailing model for social assistance, for supporting members of our community who required support, was very much a charity model, a model of doing good works. But the good works were being done to the people who had needs, to blind people, to people with low vision. And Mr. Speaker, we've moved away from that model, and yet that is the model that has been enshrined in statute. I worked for 10 years, in fact, for the New Zealand AIDS Foundation. The AIDS Foundation, as some members of this House will know, had its origins in the 1980s at a time when it became extremely clear that if we as a society were to take effective action against the HIV epidemic that was hitting our shores, we needed to empower the communities that were most affected. And so both Labor and national-led governments at that time, in fact, saw the wisdom of, rather than running programs for people who were at risk from HIV from the Ministry of Health, instead empowering organisations from those communities. Because actually, if we were trying to deal with the community of men who had sex with men, or communities of injecting drug users, or communities of sex workers, the only source for messages that those communities would trust would not be the Ministry of Health, it would be sources from within our own communities. So very much a model of empowerment of those communities. And it's been great to see in the years subsequent to that, that model being replicated and rolled out to other community-based organisations. So very much now the model, Mr. Speaker, is that community-based organisations themselves will reflect that empowerment model, and that empowerment results in better outcomes for, in this case, blind people and people with low vision. So, Mr. Speaker, it's great to see that purpose being honoured in that bill, and I look forward to better outcomes for blind New Zealanders as a result of this bill passing. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker.